Greetings and salutations in our distance. It is I, WotC, and let's go through another little fun overview / review video of the 4th Dungeons and Dragons 4th edition Dungeon Masters screen. I'm a monster! Anyways, as a quick reminder, I took off the dust jacket sleeve. The dust jacket sleeve is, yet again, one of those hard, the sturdy, thicker sheets. So it actually does stand up on its own. So if you ever truly needed to use it as another screen, you can. This is a horizontal 4-panel screen. Pretty much from here on, it's pretty much the standard for all Gamemasters screens, except for Paizo. Paizo does something different every so often. But you have nice piece of artwork on this side, and my books just fell over behind me. You got a roper, a fire giant with his hounds. You got some drow and a drider. Weirdly enough, they're rather inconsistent with the skin tone of drow. Oh, they're more dirty brown as opposed to just jet black. Where in the deluxe screen, in the drow on it, as well as most drow in 3.5, are often described as being jet black. Or glossy dark black. But okay. Then you go into the next scene. You got a black dragon and an umber hulk, a lithid, and some buddies. It looks like everyone's here to party. Yeah, you got some bugbears. And then you go over to the next. You got a beholder. You got some nightmare fuel. Oh my goodness, that is nightmare fuel for an elf. I can't remember the exact name of that monster right there. The name of that monster also happens to be a name of another monster. It's one of those weird occasions where you got multiple monsters that happen to have a similar or the exact same name. That monster is actually composite of various beetles that have a obsession with eating elf flesh and taking on the form of an elf. So... and you got yourself looks like a devil will hang out on the wall. So this must be like the supervillain meeting of the month. All the bad guys just had to really show up to greet the players. And back onto the track. On this one, there's the experience point chart over here for level of monster. Standard monster, minion, elite, solo. The 4 major groups. Then you got another one right here, monster standard level. From the monster level from 1 to 20 here, and monster 21 and to 40 here. Player characters go from level 1 to 30 in Dungeons & Dragons 4th edition, and monsters go from level 1 to 40. We have a food and lodgings table here, light sources table, character advancement table for level, damage by level table, actions in combat, move actions, minor actions, immediate actions, opportunity actions, free actions, no action, delay, combat advantages, or combat advantage, which basically lists out balance goes to page 180, blind page 277, climbing page 182, so it directs you to that. Then you got circumstances, attack modifiers on circumstances. On this second panel, blah blah blah. So you got your attack modifiers, you got DCs to break bust items, target DCs, fall severity, character level. DCs for commonly used skills, rolling attacks and checks, cover rules. Cover, superior cover, area, attacks and close attacks, reach, creatures in cover, determining cover, concealment instructions and your conditions, healing and dying, and death and dying rules right down here. Now, there's a few fun things about this screen. First and foremost, it's almost the exact same setup with some rearranging and including and excluding some information compared to the deluxe screen. This is the deluxe screen. Same basic setup. However, due to various design choices, there are some positives and negatives between the two screens. Like, for example, this is the standard screen for Dungeons & Dragons 4th edition, where this is the deluxe screen. There is, interestingly enough, if I were to quickly open, you notice up here that there's no page number in the deluxe screen, where this one actually does oftentimes include page number DMG 42, PH 29, PH 22, DMG 66. So this is actually one of the cases where this screen is superior to the deluxe edition, as they had the foresight and capacity to remember that it's a good idea to put a page number. It's a good idea to put a page number and what book you should look up if you want to get more information on this thing. Okay? Also, overall, the information on this screen is actually more fundamental basic to Dungeons & Dragons 4th edition. Everything on this screen when you're first starting out playing Dungeons & Dragons 4th edition and working through things is all stuff that you really need at quick access, and you'll need regular access. And it is being as information dense as it is, having incredibly large charts, very intelligent alternating pattern of what a dark tone, a light tone, a dark tone, a light tone down it. So it's easier overall. So you got dark tone top, next one down is lighter tone, dark, lighter, dark, lighter, dark. It's easier to follow along and read it quickly. And being that there is healthy margins between each section, and that the back is actually white, this screen probably was at one time as white as the deluxe screen. However, due to usage, it's probably yellowed over the years. So if you were to find this screen new or not so heavily used by people who or around people who smoke or something like that, you would definitely have a situation where it might actually be whiter and easier to read like this one. So everything here is actually very well labeled out. By the way, actions in combat: administer a potion, help an unconscious creature consume a potion, and it references a page 255 over here. So this screen will either have a page in each one, will either reference a page where you can find the answer, or will straight up give you the answer. Oop. Another example. The DC. So in a strange way, this one is actually superior to the deluxe version. It's superior to the deluxe version, at least as far as early on you just started dungeon mastering Dungeons & Dragons 4th edition, and this is a lot more useful information, and it has quick references in it, the page numbers, to get you to where you need if you need to look it up second time. So this is actually a situation where this is actually going to score pretty darn high. This right here is probably a 4.5 star screen. If you are going to go and get Dungeons & Dragons 4th edition and try to run it, I would actually go after buying the standard Dungeon Master screen first and foremost, as that one is the one that will be the most useful to you in the most situations possible early on and into the mid to late game. The deluxe one has some extra nice adjustment features for later games and for more particular edge cases, but this one is clearly the superior one outright. The 4th edition screens are really good overall. They're just incredibly well planned out and designed. They're easy to read. They have nice bold text. So even if you have slight damage to your slight issues with your vision, you could still see them. As to where, in the case of like Pathfinder 1st edition screen or some other Dungeon Master screens, it will be much harder to physically read the text. There's only a few instances on the 4th edition screens where the text is harder to make out, like in this little pile of words right here. So I definitely would recommend this if you're going for Dungeons & Dragons 4th edition. Also, it's good note that Dungeons & Dragons 4th edition right now, as far as prices in books, is actually at a reasonable price deal point. You can actually go out and find a great deal many of the books, like the Player's Handbook. The Dungeon Master's Guide, or various other books at a reasonable price rate. There's only very few special exceptions to that. One such exception. Most books for Dungeons & Dragons 4th edition will be on the cheaper side. However, you'll have an occasional exception where you'll have something like the Monster Manual 3, which will be much more expensive. Might be like $80 to $100, and depending on where you find it. This is a darn good book. This is actually great material for homebrewing into 5th edition as well. But anyways, yeah, this is easily a 4.25, a 4.5 star or Game Master screen. The only thing I could say hey, I would like this thing, is maybe give me a 5th panel. You know, I always want an extra panel. If it's like a 3 panel, I want 4 or 5 panels. If it's a 4 panel, I want 5th panel. Include a bit more of the information from the deluxe screen that was not included on the basic screen on that, and then boom, you got an all-in-one screen and that meets all your needs, or it meets the majority of your needs. So that is actually a rather nice book, really nice artwork. Boop. And they even are nice enough to suggest for use with Player's Handbook, Dungeon Master's Guide, Monster Manual, D&D Miniatures, and D&D Dungeon Tiles. So, there you go. Thank you very much for watching. If you enjoyed this video, please leave a like on it and consider subscribing, as well as leave a comment, share, etc. And if you want any more of Dungeons & Dragons 4th edition stuff, please type in the comments below. I would like more Dungeons & Dragons 4th edition. I would like more Dungeons & Dragons 3.5. I would like more Pathfinder 2nd edition. Whichever thing you want the most of, probably rate it from like, I want the most of this, followed by this, and this, and a this, and a this, and a this. Okay? And I will work into my schedule or plans to actually cover that content and then add new topics or content to that as well. So thank you very much for watching. Have a delightful day, a nice night, a wonderful week, and a magnificent month, and see you next time.